Good evening. Corey here from Trigger RC. I've got a battery for my camera so I can join the video fun. Hello. Anyway, I just wanted to show you guys. You might remember me from such videos as I broke my kingpin. Well, this time I broke my Castor block, which is what the kingpin goes through. So I'm going to show you guys real quick how to replace that Castor block, and I've actually already done so. This is the side that I broke, and you can see I replaced it with that RPM model, the newer, stronger plastic. So I'm going to do the same on the other side. I've just in the interest of speeding this video up, I've gone ahead and taken my front assembly apart on the right side here, and I'm just going to show you guys real quick how to put it together again. So what you're going to need is you're going to need your tool for your I don't know what you call it. It's like a socket tool. It came with my Stampede. I'm doing this on a Stampede two-wheel drive, so the front end assembly is actually a non-drive assembly. You're going to need your new Castor blocks. I do recommend the RPMs. I hear great things about them. And you're going to need your Allen wrench and a number 2 Phillips head screwdriver. Okay, so first things first, we've got all our pieces here. I've got a couple of screws that I pulled out of there, my kingpin. Just see if you can see this on the video. There we go. So the best thing to do, I found the first thing when I was replacing the other side there, is that to get the screws back into the brand new Castor block, it seemed to me like the holes were not the right size for the screw, and I was quite frustrated, so I took it out. And then I quickly realized that they're designed that way specifically so that when you put the screw in for the first time, you're creating your own threads. So I found it was easiest to actually take the screw and lightly punch it in there, and I pre-screwed a hole in there, so I've pre-threaded this, so to speak. It makes it a lot easier when we're up in here trying to screw it in at odd angles and awkward turning of the screwdriver. Okay, so I've done that already, and what I'll do now, I'm going to keep my old piece, because on this side it's not broken, so I'm going to keep that for a spare part. It's not as good quality, but if I do break this one, I've got one to replace it in a pinch. And knowing me and how I like to drive into curbs and whatnot, it's not unheard of that I might break this assembly yet again. Okay, so here's your steering. I think it's a steering block, or I don't know what it's called there. I think it's a steering block, and that goes inside your Castor block and pivots inside there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this together as a piece before I put it all onto the truck itself. If you're doing both sides, I recommend you only do one side at a time. If you're new at this like I am, it will be helpful for you to look and refer to the other side just when putting this together to ensure that you're putting the new side together the right way. That's just how you took it apart, because these parts are a little bit complicated, and you don't want to be putting it in upside down or anything like that. So I'm just gonna put the screws in here, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so the next step, now that I've got my assembly put together here, the next step is I'm going to want to put this on to the turnbuckle with the toe links here. There's a hollow ball in there, and that's what this screw will go into. Again, this is one of those situations where you do not want to over tighten, simply because you're going to need more mobility on this ball as well. This is kind of a tricky one, because you're going to want to hold on to your tool here while you screw that in. So there you go. I'm just going to show you guys close up here what I did there. You can see how the ball link, it still has some give to it. Okay, and that's what that hollow ball does. You can actually tighten that nut onto the bolt, and this screw has to be flush with the plastic here as well. And you can actually tighten that quite a bit, and the ball joint will keep it in motion. Okay, so now the next step is we're going to put this assembly into the fork here. And again, I want to line that up so that the hole, I always look through the hole to see light come through the other side. And then I know that I can slide the pin straight through there. This is another situation where you want to check on the other side, make sure you're not pushing that plastic away as you tighten this screw. And also don't just make it snug, don't over tighten that, because again, you're going to need this mobility for your shocks. When your shocks are operating, you need that screw to turn. And of course the last step is to connect this arm back onto here, and don't forget about your little washer that came off in the first place. Put that through there. And throw the washer on. There we go. So we're all complete here. There's your screw. And again, I did not over tighten plastic. But it is snug, so we've got full mobility for turning, you can see here, and we've got shock mobility. Alright, and I'll just try to give you all angles here. So you can see, sorry about the lighting, but we have liftoff. So hopefully this helps someone out there, and do not hesitate to comment on the video. If you saw me do something and you have a much easier way of doing it, or if you have any questions about something that I might have missed, you need clarification, anything like that, by all means leave a comment. We check relatively often, and until next time.